Hey everybody, it's Rosie, and today is a pregnancy video. It still feels weird saying that, or like when I tell people I'm pregnant, like, is that really me saying that? Am I saying that? Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's different, but it's weird in a good way, So let me, I guess, start from the beginning. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Rosie. I guess I'll give background information because I haven't really talked about a lot of this stuff before on my channel anyway. So I'm Rosie. My now fiance, Jay, and I have been together for about 6 years now, almost 6 years. And we just found out a couple weeks ago, we found out that we were pregnant with our first kid, which is still like crazy to me. Like, I'm still trying to process it because I'm just like, what? So we're gonna be parents, first time parents. I should get a shirt, like first time mom. So yeah, so this is our first kid, our first child. Like I said, we've been together for almost 6 years now. We always wanted kids. We've talked about kids since like the very beginning. We just at first only started dating, we were like 20, 21, so we were a little bit young. I mean, it would have been fine, but you know, we waited a little bit, but then we wanted to have kids and it just wasn't happening. But we also weren't really trying. It was just kind of like, you know, if it happens, it happens. And nothing had happened yet, so we were honestly starting to get a little bit worried, like, can we have kids? So we're both a little bit concerned, but if you saw my last video, we just went to Japan last month in March and we spent 2 weeks there. So we were, for the last, how many months? I don't know how many months, but we've been like planning, researching, saving for this trip, our dream trip. It was like vacation, like honeymoon, vacation, I guess now baby moon. So we planned for that. So we weren't even, like, kids were not even in our mind frame, like, we were not thinking about that right now. But then it just happened. And so pretty much, it's actually kind of funny, but we went to Japan and we came back on March 28th. And let me tell you, those 10-hour flights, because we flew from Sacramento to LA, then from LA to Tokyo, and then Tokyo back to LA, LA back to Sacramento. When we were going from LA to Tokyo and back, those 10-hour flights, like, that was killer. That was, I knew it was gonna be bad. Oh my god. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, sorry if things look different. My phone totally fell from the little holder thingy, and it scared the crap out of me. So, continuing, okay, so we went to Japan last month. We were there for 2 weeks, and I didn't feel weird at all or anything. My stomach was a little bit, like, kind of bloated, and I kind of felt like I wasn't digesting right. But normally I eat a keto diet or ketogenic diet, and I had gotten off of it at the beginning of March. I kind of weaned myself off so that way on our trip I could enjoy myself and eat like whatever, because most of the foods we were going to be eating were all carb based, like ramen, rice, sweets, sugar, whatever. So I got off of that. So during the trip my stomach felt a little bit weird, but I thought it was because of the sudden carb intake. You know, I was going from like no carbs to like all carbs. And we were walking a lot and everything, and it wasn't too bad. So I was like, okay, it's probably just that. And then we got back on March 28th, and I went to work the following Monday. So I only had actually a few days off. I didn't have that many days off. And it was terrible. Like, the jet lag was so real, and especially because I was asleep when our last plane was, what is it called again? When it's landing, I forgot what it's called, but you're not supposed to be asleep when the plane is going down, like landing. I did not know that. I was passed out because when we were coming back home, it was our second flight. And when I woke up, my ear was so plugged, I could not hear out of my left ear. So for those days that I was recovering, or trying to recover. Like, I was jet lagged, I could not hear, I had a really huge headache, I think from all the pressure, not being able to hear, and then just like tired, exhausted. It was terrible. And then I was a little bit dizzy, and I was thinking like, oh, it's probably just from my ear, like I can't hear, so I'm like off balance and like sleeping weird schedules, trying to get back adjusted. And then my stomach was starting to feel worse, and it was just like, oh, a mess. So I had to go back to work, and I was not feeling it. Like, and then it was really stressful. And then I started to feel, I felt like a lot of heartburn and indigestion too. And then my stomach was really bloated, but I still hadn't gone back to keto. I was eating like junk because I was thinking, well, might as well enjoy it now while I can. So that was a mistake. So I was thinking like, oh, you know, of course my stomach is going to be acting all funky. I'm feeding it all this like junk. So I still didn't think, things still didn't click to me. It wasn't until I started to feel nauseous along with all that, and then my breasts were really tender and sore, that I started to feel like, okay, this is a little bit too coincidental or like too much. Let me take a test. Also too, I'm irregular, so I've never had like regular periods until I was on keto. And I only started keto about a year ago. But before that, I was really irregular, so there would be times where I would not have periods for months at a time, especially when I would be on and off birth control. My periods would stop, and I would not get them for like a year or more. So not having my period for a couple months, it wasn't really like, I know some people are so like on the dot regular, like they know the moment, you know, they're late, but I had no idea, honestly. But once I kind of started thinking like, wait, maybe, you know, maybe there's something going on. So we went and got the test, and then I took the test while my fiance was here, and it came out positive. And not just like the faint little line, like it was like bam, like clear, like dark, like you are very pregnant. So I was like, whoa. And I actually cried. So Jay was ecstatic. He was, the moment it came out, like he was so happy. He's always wanted to be a dad. He's great with kids. This is something he's always wanted in life. So he's so happy. But the moment that it turned positive, it was just like, I just cried, like so overwhelming, like, because that's a lot, like becoming a mom, going through the pregnancy, having a kid, everything, like our lives are going to change. So like, not that I didn't want it, or I was like no, but just kind of like, it was too much to wrap my head around, so I just cried. And I did take 2 tests. Well, I took one then, and then in the morning I took another one, and it was still positive, very positive. So we're kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm probably pregnant. And that was on Sunday, April 8th. So was it the 9th? No, 8th or 9th? I don't know my days right now. Baby brain, I guess. So that weekend, April 8th, April 9th, that was when I took the test. It was on Sunday. Was Sunday the 8th or the 9th? Friday, it was Friday the 13th. Okay, so Thursday 12, Wednesday 11, Tuesday the 10th, okay, Sunday, April 8th was when we took the test. So I scheduled an appointment with my PCP, my primary care physician, for Tuesday, April 10th. So I went and saw my primary care doctor. They asked for a urine sample, so I gave the urine sample, and then I was waiting in the room. Also, this is probably TMI, but I was also getting like really, really bad like yeast infection, and like it kind of felt almost like a UTI, but like I had so much discharge. It was gross, and like really it itched so bad, and it burned and it hurt. It was so uncomfortable. And I was just thinking like maybe from the travel, or like maybe I got it from sitting in the plane for so long. I don't know, but it was like, it was really bad. So I called my doctor, made the appointment, not only to check to make sure I was pregnant or not, but also, you know, to check down there to make sure everything is fine. So I gave a urine sample. I was waiting in the room, and my doctor comes in and she's like, congratulations. Which I didn't, I was like, what, like confused, because you know it depends on the results, like if I'm pregnant or not, I don't know, like you tell me. And she's like, I just looked at her confused, kind of like, what? And she's like, well, it came out positive. So as soon as she said that, I started to cry again, like really cry. And I think I kind of scared her because she was like, are those happy tears? Or I'm like, yeah, they're happy tears. And I was like, I'm just overwhelmed right now, like in a good way. Because it's just a lot. Again, like I was just like, what? Like that was just confirming it. Like what? I'm pregnant? What? So then she checked everything down there too, and I did have a yeast infection really bad, which I took medicine. She gave me medicine and that treated that, so that part's doing a lot better, thankfully. But I told her the last time that I actually bled or had my period was the beginning of January 1st. And that's why I remember, because it was like 1/1. It was New Year's. But then I didn't have anything since then. But then I told her all my symptoms, how I was barely feeling nauseous and stuff like the week before and the week before that. So like recently, you know, I was barely feeling symptoms now. So, and then she checked and she kind of like, you know, pressed on my lower abdomen and stuff, kind of checked around. So she was like, well, based off of your last menstrual cycle, that would put you like 14 to 16 weeks. But from what you're telling me and what I'm seeing, you sound more like you're 6 to 8 weeks. But, you know, that's a huge gap. 6 to 16, like, what? So she was like, since I don't know and I can't like give you any dates or anything, I would say try to be seen by the OB as soon as possible so then they can do a dating ultrasound. So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, for sure I'm pregnant. And so now, like, what? Where do I start? So right away I called the OB's office, and from what I've researched, most OBGYNs, when you're pregnant, you won't get your first appointment when you're pregnant until 12 weeks or around there. Thankfully, the office that I called, that I usually go to, they take people as soon as 8 weeks when you're pregnant. But I still didn't know if I was even 8 weeks. So I kind of, not lied to her, but I was like, hey, my doctor said I could be 8 weeks or more, which, you know, that wasn't entirely untrue. I need to get in as soon as possible to see, because I have no idea how far along I am. And she's like, oh, we only take 8 weeks. Like, are you sure? And I'm just like, yeah, my doctor said, like, she just checked and she doesn't know, but I might be past 8 weeks. So she's like, okay. So she scheduled me for that Friday, which was Friday the 13th, like, so a couple days later. So on Friday the 13th I went, and Jay was actually able to go with me to the OB appointment, which was nice. So we went, and then I, you know, laid down, the OB came in, and then as soon as he just like pressed a little bit on my lower abdomen and like, yep, you're pregnant, which was kind of like, it was weird but also reassuring at the same time. Like, wow, he could tell just from like a touch, you know? So I guess I really am pregnant, even though my doctor confirmed it. It's still, you know, at this point I'm still like, what? So right away, instead of going for the ultrasound, he gets the Doppler, the sound Doppler, and puts it against my abdomen. And then we hear this little swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. I can't, like, that was a bad impression, but we hear this little noise. And I want to cry. And we heard the heartbeat. Oh, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry just because I know it's going to be a mess, but also crying triggers my headaches, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so we both got to hear the heartbeat, and I wasn't sure at first. So I was kind of like in shock. And he was like, do you hear that? And I'm just like, what? And he's like, yep, that's a heartbeat. So as soon as he said that, I just started crying, like crying so much, like laying down there. So then they pulled up the actual ultrasound, and once he started checking, you could see baby like clear right there, like a formed baby. It wasn't like a blob or a little thing or speck or some like, oh, there's a mass of cells or whatever. It was a baby. Like, there's a baby there already. And I really didn't think we were gonna be able to see it or hear it. So it was really wonderful. Oh, let me show you. There's baby. I'll post a better picture because you probably still can't really see that. But yeah, it looks like a little baby, like a little bean. You can see its little butt already. I still can't believe it. So from the ultrasound, the OB dated me and put me at 9 weeks, 5 days, which, what? That was another crazy part. Like, so I was already 9 weeks into the pregnancy and I didn't even know. But it's not, you know, my mom said she didn't find out until she was, I think, in her second trimester already. And there's some women that don't find out till they actually give birth, which that seems kind of crazy to me. But so yeah, 9 weeks, like, you know, I wasn't showing. A lot of the symptoms I had are things I already get normally, like the heartburn, and indigestion and bloating. Like, I always have a lot of stomach problems, headaches. I get headaches and migraines all the time. So it actually wasn't, you know, so, and then again, with me being irregular, it wasn't anything too weird. Like, all of those combined, I just thought it was like bad timing, you know. So yeah, so he put me at 9 weeks, 5 days during that appointment. And then I got set up for my next appointment at 12 weeks. Well, I'll be like 12 weeks in a couple days. And yeah, so we couldn't wait. So that day we went and started telling people. And I know you should wait until like 12 weeks, or a lot of people choose to wait until 12 weeks or whatever just to be safe. But the OB said that everything looks fine. Everything is developed now, just a matter of growing, or everything looks fully developed or like it's developing well. So we couldn't wait. So we told everybody. A lot of crying involved, telling everybody. His mom is really excited. Like, she loves kids. Like, she's really happy. His sister's really excited because it's her first time being like an aunt, like a true aunt. So it's really exciting. And then his Jay's nephews, they're excited because they're getting their first actual cousin. Like, we're Mexican, have big families, so they have a lot of like cousins, but they don't have any cousins. So this is their first like actual cousin, like first cousin, you know. So that's exciting. And then when I told my parents, like, my mom screamed. My dad is super happy. My mom is especially happy because I'm her only daughter. So this is her first actual grandkid. So, it's really special and she's really excited about that. And then telling friends and family, it's really exciting. And yeah. So now as of filming this, I'm 11 weeks and 3 days. So a couple weeks have passed by, and these last couple weeks, it's kind of funny because before, how I was feeling like all these symptoms, like typical pregnancy symptoms, like nausea and like fatigue and headaches and heartburn and indigestion, whatever, bloating, most of it went away as soon as we found out. Like, as soon as the first test came back positive, the nausea stopped, a lot of things, the heartburn stopped, indigestion stopped. So I've actually been pretty good. The only thing is I am very tired. I'm extremely tired, and I've been working like more than 8 hours a day. I need to make up all my PTO hours that I used on our trip. So I've been working a lot, but I'm just exhausted. When I sleep, I feel like I don't really get to sleep, even though I'm going to bed like so early for me, like 9 o'clock, like that's unheard of for me. It feels like I'm really just not resting. I've also had, oh, I forgot to mention, another thing that tipped me off, like before we took the test, and something that kind of made me think like I might be pregnant, I had nightmares, like crazy nightmares and really vivid dreams. Like, all my dreams and everything were crazy, and then I also had nightmares which would like wake me up, and I was like panicked, like I could not go back to sleep because my heart was pounding. I was just like, what? And they were like a horror movie, like suspense thriller. Usually I'd wake up before any like gore or like killing or scary stuff like that happened, but it was still like so scary that it would wake me up. And that's a thing that really triggered me when I put the pieces together, like, wait, this might be, you know, maybe I'm pregnant because these dreams are not normal. Like I've never had dreams like this. So I still have those, which doesn't help the not sleeping. But yeah, mainly mainly being tired, headaches, and bloating. So the bloating, it's lessened up a lot, thankfully, but my stomach does feel pretty bloated. and sometimes it's kind of hard to eat because I kind of feel like I'm full already. But oh, that was another thing too. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place because I don't really know. I made notes, but I don't know. It's hard to follow. My brain is all over the place right now. I think I'm already getting baby brain, which is kind of scary because I don't know. It's only gonna get worse from here. But so towards the beginning of the month, I haven't had any real cravings or food aversions yet. People have been asking me like, what are you craving, whatever. Nothing really, or nothing in particular. But towards the beginning of the month, I had no appetite. Like I just felt kind of, when I was feeling kind of nauseous, I just felt like, no, like I don't want to eat. I can't eat. And I was just trying to force myself to eat enough just to like not get sick. But food did not sound good to me, and I was actually losing weight. I have been keeping track of my weight just because I want to make sure I'm eating a good amount. I don't want to lose too much or like gain too much, so I want to be on a steady pace. So I was losing weight, which was kind of concerning, especially after we found out. I wanted to make sure that wasn't happening too much. But I know it's common for a lot of women in the first trimester to kind of lose weight, especially if there's a lot of morning sickness involved. So I'm not too concerned, but I still want to make sure I'm eating. So that was going on. But then I would say the end of last week and this week, I got my appetite back. So finally I'm eating, or I feel hungry again, but I'm still kind of bloated. So it's kind of hard, but when I am like hungry, then I can eat. But then I'm like, but at least I'm eating. At least I have appetite, so that's good. Oh, headaches. So that's a big one that's been a real struggle. Like earlier today, I had like a pretty bad headache, but thankfully that went away. But I've been getting really bad migraines and stuff. One day it was so bad, like the worst migraine I've had in a long time. And I get migraines all the time, and I usually the only thing that helps is if I take medicine like rizatriptan, which is generic for bath salt. Take that along with putting peppermint oil, along with ice packs, along with going in a dark room with quiet and just trying to sleep. Like all of that together might get rid of my migraine. So in this time I really can't or don't want to rely on the medicine. So a couple times I took Tylenol, which they say is safe during pregnancy, but I still feel kind of like I want to avoid it if I can. But there were 2 times already that I had to take the rizatriptan because I could not stand it, and I felt like it would be worse, like more internal stress on myself and on baby if it just kept going. So I took that and felt better. Which the studies on that are pretty limited right now on the rizatriptan. So I don't recommend for anybody to take it, especially without consulting a doctor. So, see your OB or whatever first. But I asked both my primary care and my OB about it. They didn't say not to take it, but they didn't say, like it's fine. They did tell me how there's not too much research on it yet, but so far the results, like it's not too harmful, but still, and I want to avoid any risk possible right now. So I'm trying not to take that. So yeah, but the headaches. I've heard some of the family told me that making a tea with ginger and turmeric will be really good for headaches, so I need to try that. But if it's a small headache, then I just put peppermint oil and try to like calm down and use the ice pack and get rid of it. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. So other than that, I feel fine. Like if I don't have a headache, then I feel good. Other than being tired, I don't feel nauseous anymore. I don't feel like crazy. I don't feel heartburn. I do feel crazy, but I don't feel heartburn. I don't feel like all these other things at once like I was before. So mainly just tired and bloated and headaches, which still kind of seems like a lot, but it's not too bad. Most of all, I have been really happy. So my mood overall has been better. I haven't really had mood swings or crazy shift in mood other than just my mood going up, like being really happy. But I'm also just excited to have a baby. So that's probably it. I do cry a lot, but that's normal. I cry at everything. And nothing has really changed there. The other day we were watching Pokemon Symphony Orchestra YouTube videos, and I was like sobbing. So it's just hormones, I don't know. And also just me being an emotional person, but yeah, so that's where I'm at so far. Oh, and for food, I've been trying to be low carb, but I've been really bad at it. Especially at the beginning of the month when I said I didn't have any appetite. I was just trying to eat whatever, like anything that I could stomach that felt fine. I didn't throw up at all though, so that's good. I did feel nauseous, but I never threw up. Knock on wood, hopefully I don't throw up. But I was just trying to eat anything and everything, and a lot of times it was just kind of junk stuff or like a lot of carbs, but that was the only thing that would, you know, satiate me. And then now these days, now that I got my appetite back, I've been trying to eat low carb, but I've been bad, so I've been eating stuff that I probably shouldn't, especially like ice cream. That's really bad, but baby wants it, okay? No. Yeah, ice cream has been my indulgence lately. And then also other things too, like eating breads and stuff. Like I had Subway today and I had flatbread, which I probably should have went with the salad instead, but I didn't. But I think going into this second trimester, hopefully I'll be able to make better food choices, because I feel like this first trimester was just a matter of like surviving and feeling fine. Thankfully, while we were in Japan, I ate a bunch of good stuff, which was awesome. Oh, and also people say you can't eat sushi, but that's not entirely true. That's very misleading. In Japan and other places, sushi is like very common during pregnancy. They even feed it a lot to pregnant women in the maternity wards, like when they're giving birth. It depends, you know, like there's a risk of bacteria for raw fish, so you have to make sure it's handled and stored properly. Also the mercury levels, but usually the fish that we eat doesn't have that high of mercury levels unless you're eating like swordfish or shark or a lot of like fatty tuna, like a lot. But even my OB gave me the clearance for sushi. He said like for mercury you would have to eat it like 5 times a day to get like mercury poisoning or for it to be harmful for baby. So even though I love sushi, I do not plan on eating anywhere near that amount, so I'm good. I'm really excited about that, because that's one thing I have been wanting to eat a lot, but I don't really have the funds for that right now, so you know, I'll splurge a little bit more down the line. But yeah, so that's kind of my first trimester update. I can't believe in a couple days I'll be in my second trimester already, which people say time goes by fast when you have a kid, and I haven't even had it yet, and it is going way too fast. So yeah, I'm excited though. We're both really happy. We're both ready for this. So yeah, so hopefully I will give more updates soon. I don't want to forget or drop the ball on this, because I'm known for that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Watch my other videos if you want, please. Yeah, okay. Bye. Okay, bye.